Stay tuned to CEMTV 24/7, always thinking possibilities. CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.
This is CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is TGIF here on CEMTV's Jolly Live. Thank God it is Friday because party go plenty. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's just that time for you to lay back, relax. Work isn't as serious, school isn't as serious, isn't as stressful. Friday is that one day that you were conditioned from your childhood to look forward to. When you're going to school on a Monday, it feels completely different from when you're going to school on a Friday. And for some of you, you do your, what do you call it, your PE. It's the PE day, the day where you get the most freedom, where half of the day is spent outside playing with friends, kicking the ball all around, torturing the girls. Friday is just that day for you to wind back and relax, and it's no different here on CEMTV's Jolly Live. I'm not alone in the studio, and of course, I know immediately I said torturing the girls when I looked at me.
Because you have been. I'm like, let's get there. I'm gonna ask you that. What do you mean torturing the girls, please?
I mean, in secondary school, every secondary school had that boy-girl dynamic, that rivalry. Jesus loved the boys. No, he loved the girls. No, he loved the boys. And when you go to PE, especially if you played dodgeball in school, where they give you a FIFA ball and then they tell you to throw it at anybody, so your objective is to avoid getting hit. And of course, do you expect boys to stone their fellow boys?
So yeah, that's healthy one. That's a healthy.
That's what I mean by torturing the girls.
When I was in secondary school, the boys and girls used to have this whole unnecessary beef with themselves. They always be like, oh, the boys are cooler, the girls are cooler. There's always. And then I went to a secondary school that girls' class was different from the boys' class. And
wow!
Yeah, for a great number of time. I think from just SS1 to SS1, then SS2, SS3 became a mixed class. But before then, it was boys different class, girls different class. So we always had this hidden beef. But deep down, we love each other.
Yeah.
That we really love each other. Let's go for football match in another school.
Another school. And then
especially our female football team, they're very good, very competitive. So anywhere we go to, we're always like topping our football matches or even our sport games. Let it be that is girls have gone to play match, and then the other school they now want to like bully us or anything. Hey, our boys will step in. But when we go back to school, we are cat and dog. No, it brings back so good memories, honestly. Yeah,
exactly. Which is what I'm saying. Friday is that one day that I mean, having a bad memory on a Friday is really rare.
No, it's hard. It's bad. It's wicked to yourself to even have a bad memory on Friday. When we do Throwback Thursdays, I'm always like, yeah, it's okay to think about maybe the bad stuff that have happened, but think about it from a happy place. Do not think about it dwelling in that past. Think about it from a happy place. So when we are going back to things, especially things like this, make sure you're going back to things that are memorable, things that maybe didn't make sense at the time, but now you can talk about them and you can laugh and you're in a good place now. Yeah, so that's how to remember things. And here on Jolly Life, of course, my name is Vera Philip. I'm hanging out with Tammy, and as you can see, the energy is high because it's Friday. I'm happy. I don't know about you. If you have sadness around you, there's problem and you need to remove it. since cast and bind, Pastor Tammy is just gonna do prayer and worship. Tammy, I'm not aware of that. The Holy Spirit did not reveal that to you. But yeah, we have a lot to discuss today on Jolly Live. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. We do have a lot to discuss today on Jolly Live. You know, Vera talked about Throwback Thursday, looking at the past and not dwelling on the past. But our topic for today, hey, you have to dwell on the past too. Because the person that we are talking about today, oh my God, it is because of the current happenings that she's crying, and that even caused a lot of people to look back in time to make a comparison between then and now. So before I
know where we're going to, I feel like I know where we're going to. At least I'm already feeling, this conversation is going to tear me apart emotionally.
Don't worry, we'll try our best to not break down.
Yeah, we'll just be okay.
Because even as she was expressing her thoughts and her feelings, it remains small for me to join her in her.
Just wail together.
Kindred spirits. Now I know some of you're wondering, what are they talking about now? Kuku, tell us, hurry up and tell us. Don't worry, we'll get to the topic soon. But all you need to do is just stay tuned to CEMTV. Don't go anywhere. We'll just play you one short music. We'll just play you a song. Really, really good song, really short song. But by the time we come back, we will hammer straight away so you won't miss anything. Don't go anywhere.
I don't understand.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting every voice.
Welcome back from that short music break. That was Ghana with Forever Be Man. She go Forever Be Man. You see, that song, it's a very, very romantic song. You know, it's a song that once you play it for that your one crush, you know, I think Wizkid was in that song as well. When he now comes in with his vocals, I do it. Look. When the time reaches to discuss music, we will discuss music. But of course, welcome back from that short music break. I still am Emmanuel Tamino Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. So, like I promised, immediately we land, we go knock everything gongo. As it stands, there's this lady on social media that has been crying, wailing, posted a video and her complaint, he heavy die. Like, it's a complaint that resonates with a lot of Nigerians right now, but you'd be surprised how many Nigerians were actually surprised why she was complaining and, you know, were telling her to basically suck it up and move on. Here's what is trending right now on social media.
Guys, what exactly is happening in Abuja that I don't know? What exactly is happening in Abuja that I don't know? I'm just coming back from the market to get a few stuff to cook. Guys, tomato 500. Tomato 500. 5 pieces of tomato for 500. Does it mean that each tomato is 100 naira? Hey, Jesus Christ. Abuja, you guys are not making life easy for us. You guys are not making life easy busy for compass in Abuja. My only mistake was to come and serve in Abuja. I don't even have any savings in my account anymore. All my allowance they finish for food. I have to eat, of course. I'm tired. I want to go back village.
You see, it resonated deep within me and a lot of Nigerians when she said, all my alawi, if we just replace that alawi with money, all my money has been finished just for food alone. And it had a lot of people asking, have things really gotten that bad? Like, is it that expensive? Because when you go to Snapchat, you go to all these places, you see that there's still money everywhere. You understand? But then, regardless, maybe she's not the only one sharing that view. Right? This thing is not hard as it is now.
It's not a matter of if I think. It's a fact.
It's not a matter of if I think.
No. My thought process is not acceptable.
You don't even waste that. You do not want it to say, things are that bad. Maybe.
Recently, we've been seeing Nigerians abroad. I think I saw Poja on social media and our famous Akia Popo Chinedu Ikedieze on social media complaining about dollar rate to Nigeria that they are spending abroad. Poja had mentioned that he bought a bottle of soda for 8,000, over 8,000. From the receipt he shared, it was about 8,900 and something.
Wow.
Like that. And then that's in dollars, obviously. And then we had Chinedu Kedieze, the legend, talk about how a viewing center to watch a match cost them about $30, which is about 40 something or over 50 something thousand naira. Okay, and I'm like, that's people's problem. The fact that I want to go abroad, you cannot compare the value to what is happening in naira. Okay, if you want to live in America, you have to be earning in dollars. You can't be earning in naira to want to go and survive, in America, US life. Let's talk about the problem that we're having here. The one that they are dealing with here and now. Let's forget America's problem first, or our value to what do you call it, to American dollars.
America, yeah.
Let's talk about the issues we're having here. How can we make, and it's funny because most of these things are produced here in Nigeria. For the example, that tomato that she's complaining about,
they didn't import it though.
It's not imported.
Yes,
in that Abuja that she's even staying, you will find tomato there. You find tomato in the northern part of Nigeria. It's supposed to be cheap now. Imagine somebody selling plantain for me. This thing plantain 1,000.
No, you saying it's supposed to be. Let me give you a scenario. There's this story my friend was telling me about how his neighbor practically has an orange an orange tree in the yard, and it's not a tree that she planted, mind you. It's something that she went there, saw it there, but it hadn't started bearing fruit by the time she moved it. So she went there, saw the tree. She didn't even know what tree it was. She just saw a massive tree there, and she was like, okay, maybe to provide me shade from time to time. And a couple of months later, it produced fruit. And luckily for her, if she walks out of her apartment, the tree is right here. So it's what you would say, it in front of my yard. Now me get them. You understand? Even though you're not the one that planted it, but we know how Nigerians and their imaginary land spacing is. Immediately is within a certain boundary is your own. You understand? So he said that at one point he saw her, packing up some oranges from the floor. She was like, I don't know, an orange tree with this, I don't know, an orange with this. And she packed it up, and she had about 5 rubber baskets full. He was asking, neighbor, what do you want to carry and do now? She had a give her. He said, no, she go carry and go house, so she go carry and go village, she go share for her people. So he saw it as, it's a good idea. Yeah, you can, go share fruits, give your village people, your family people, and all of that. Only for him to find out that when he went to the market, because he says he goes to the market every two weeks. So when he went to the market, he saw that she had a stall selling oranges. She was selling oranges in the market. Yeah. And the question was, how much are you selling? He said, neighbor, now you can sell them. You don't see them, I won't go, but I say, my just, since you do excess, make her, okay, it's okay now. Now patronize, even my neighbor now, I patronize you, that kind of thing. And he wanted to buy 5 oranges. Vera, I kid you not, that she wanted to sell him 5 oranges for 1,000 naira. 5 oranges for 1,000. Keep in mind, she did not plant this.
Not the owner.
She did not water it. She did not pay any money in, the manure and the upkeep of the plant. She did not. She just walked in, saw the trees, just like it wasn't fruiting yet.
Yeah.
In a couple of months, it fruited, and she took all of that, and she was selling it at such an absurd price. Something that is supposed to be free, basically. Even if she wants to sell it, she is not running at a loss. You understand? Because there is no capital in this particular case.
Yeah.
So she could have afforded to sell it, 100 naira per piece, 50 naira per piece. She has nothing to lose. So now you can imagine someone with no capital at stake selling at such an absurd price. And when he asked her, why it cost like that now? So if I want to go buy pay transport now money now. And the fact is, she's not really wrong to think that way, because when you think about it, when she wants to move those baskets to the market, the drivers themselves will charge her a lot of money. And when you now look at where the drivers are coming from, they need to feed their families as well. They need to buy fuel. They need to account for the maintenance of their car. So when they're charging you, they're charging with all of those things in mind. Now, I'm not even including the fact that some Nigerians just tend to be extremely wicked people. I'm just going based on the fact that things are so difficult that most people don't really have much of a choice than to increase the amount they sell certain things.
Yeah.
So in this particular case now, who are we even going to blame?
The government.
Thank you. That's it.
That's like the contrary here, the government, because we have the option of regulating our prices.
Yeah.
From house rent to food to accommodation, everything. But then we are not taking that into consideration. People can just stay and then raise the price for whatever. I always say that one disadvantage about fuel price, once it goes up, it goes up.
It goes up, yeah. It doesn't come down.
Fuel price, any other thing, once it goes up, it goes up. It's really hard.
Same thing with transportation.
Same thing with transportation.
I remember there was a time in Port Harcourt where 50 naira takes you to almost everywhere in Port Harcourt. But now
so it's so sad that when it goes up, it goes up. And even I think the only things that we've managed to see, that have come down in price, is the likes of rice, the likes of gari and beans and stuff like that. There was a time it was outrageous, the amount was outrageous, but now we've seen that it has quite reduced. But then we still have other commodities, we still have other goods and other services that have been exchanged in Nigeria. Why can't we regulate our prices? Because that's what's going to give anybody the audacity to take out orange that they did not plant and go and sell it at such an absurd amount of price.
Money, yeah.
So if we can regulate prices, which is one thing that we should take into consideration as a government, is regulating prices, because that is also one of the reasons why Nigerians are suffering. Because people are now going to be like, oh, this thing is expensive, so thing I'm getting is expensive here, so that means I need to also increase my own price. If we can regulate from top to bottom, then everything can at least be balanced, and some people can even be able to afford the bare minimum. So me, I'm going to directly blame the government. Let's put it out there. Let's call it spade a spade. It is the government that are not taking the prices of things, because maybe they are not punched by it, they are not being beaten by it, they don't know how much it is. That
if they aren't, then we have the free TV that was recently released, because even though a lot of Nigerians are talking about how that is not our problem right now, you bringing out free TV, which even when you look at the semantics of it, it's not necessarily free. It's being funded by the taxpayers' money. But overall, that's not our conversation for today. A lot of people had reactions to it, and there's this particular one we want to start with. The first reaction that was made on social media is this is Mrs. CO, and she said, "I'm not sure say now only tomato they make you cry. It is well with your soul, sister girl." Because
let's be sincere about that one. How you can be going through a lot, and then one thing just comes and then just destroys everything, and
that's what we call the straw that broke the camel.
Yes, like you have, maybe she's actually maybe they've broken her heart. Maybe there's something else, but you see the pain that you're dealing with already. You're not going to the market and deal with frustration. You will cry, my sister. But then let's also be realistic. It's very possible for the price of tomato to make you cry.
Yeah, so for me, really, when she pointed that out, I don't think it's when she said that. I think it's not the price of the tomatoes themselves that made her cry. I think it's just the overall, because like she said, she went to the market and she got a whole lot of things. So when you look at the possibility of using what you've gotten and looking at the longevity of what you've
Of
got.
what you've gotten.
What do you want to do with 5 pieces of tomato?
And someone said of recent that there's no need to actually create budgets, because you know how painful it is that you have a budget that you want to work with when you're going
No, you don't use
and then
budget.
you exceed your budget.
Hey.
You exceed your budget and you begin to like wonder where it is. I mean, even of recent, I've thought to myself, where is my money going to? You know, because you realize that you're making budgets and you're expanding your budget to fit things, and you don't even know what it is that they're going in for.
Yeah.
You know, it now looks as if you don't know how to spend your money. Meanwhile, you are actually, you're just surviving, my dear. You're just eating. So yeah, let's not take it away. Yeah, I understand with that comment, you know, but let's not take it away from the fact that, you know, the hardship in Nigeria can cause one to cry. I think I've had such experience before. One time when gas was 2,000, and not even now that gas is down 2,000. There was a time that gas was 2K, and at the time I was managing my finances, right? Now I had this thing of always like, when I have a certain amount of money, maybe my salary at the end of the month, what I do with that is that I begin to calculate what goes for what and what goes for what. At the end of the day,
you to segment your money.
At the end of the day, at the time, I barely used to have anything left for me because I finished segmenting everything, right? So imagine gas money that I've been planning to be maybe 5K before. Now going all the way to 10K. That means whatever it is that, you know, I was budgeting again, I need to withdraw from there, withdraw from here, and it was so painful. I remember sitting on my bed that day and I was like, what kind of life is this? It can be very painful, you know, sometimes. So as Nigerians, we can relate to that. We can relate to it.
For me, the thing that hurts me the most when it comes to this type of conversation is when the person is, or when you're now talking to someone from an older generation, and they think things cost the way it still used to. I had a situation where I was having a conversation with an elderly man, you know, and he was talking about how, you know, with the way they've raised minimum wage and all of that, the young ones, they should be able to, in my time, that time when they pay you, how much was land? That time you just go take out your money, you buy land, you do the way money has risen now, you should be able to buy land. That's like that. And I'm like, and then another funny thing, it was more or less a situation of, I was ignoring him, and I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about the cost of phones. So we're just talking about really nice phones. So I was telling him how there's this one phone that, God, when I get to a certain degree of wealth, I would want to get that phone. You know, it's about 1 point something, 2 point something million naira. And then the man heard our conversation. Oh, I'm talking about land, and you're talking about that. What you're talking about is how many plots of land will you buy? I said, okay, what you're talking about right now, that 1 point something is for self-contained. That's what you used to get self-con now. It's like, it cannot be. It's not possible. The thing, that's the point. The thing is, and now, because I have some realtors on my phone, so I opened up some of their catalogs and showed. I said, "Guys, you want to argue me?" I opened up their catalogs and showed it. I said, "Everything right here." He said, "Now self-contained at blah blah blah." I said, "Okay, everything like self-contained at be okay. How much did you see there?" Look at it, shout, Jesus! I said, no, God, calm down.
I don't want to understand where it is that he lives or what it is. Where is a
lot of people think that the way it was then is the way it is now. They don't think that the cost, in as much as the purchasing power of the average man has risen about 4 times since 2011, I think, the time of Jonathan, it has risen about 4 times. I think the current minimum wage is about 77,000 naira.
77,000.
Yeah, so at the time of Goodluck Jonathan, it was about 10,000 naira. So it has risen significantly, but the cost of living has more than quadrupled.
Of course.
Yes, we've been receiving 4 times more purchasing power, but, or rather 4 times more, you know, earning ability. But what can you get with that money? If you're earning about 150,000 naira, once you factor in your transportation, God bless you, your work is closer to where you're living, so you give or take, you factor in about 20,000 naira for your transportation, you factor in your rent, you factor in electricity, you factor in your daily costs, and you, before you even start thinking of things like clothing, you know, cosmetics, miscellaneous spending, you'll have none of those. So, and the thing that really got to me was some other comments that some people made, you know, which is where it goes to show you that some Nigerians, they don't necessarily see the problem. They're more or less, why are you not adapting to the problem like we are? So another comment we had there is that if we could get this a bit bigger so the people can see it correctly and I can also, see it fully.
I think it should dominate the screen. So
So exactly. So it's like, is this necessary? We all know that this is not tomato season, but Abuja remains one of the areas you will always see fresh tomatoes in the market, no matter how scarce it is. You even see 500 naira only, they shed tears. Ask people in the east if they're seeing any for 1k now. You see, the problem now is that the thing is, the problem is not even the tomatoes. This person went on to say they gave you 5 and they cry. Me, I do 3. Me, I did see 3 for 500 naira.
Nigerians and global.
I think there's just one more, and then this one is saying, why is she crying? 5 pieces of tomatoes in Lagos cost 1,000 naira, and this is not tomato season. So why are you cry? Why you they cry?
Yeah, I think this is another problem we have in Nigerians. So glorifying suffering or glorifying something like that. So when someone tells you, "Oh, I'm going through a lot," I'm like, "What you're going through is small." I think what I'm going through. The fact is, everybody's going through something. The fact is that it is expensive, and I understand that this is not tomato season. I get that, but we also know, just like the other person stated, Abuja is the kind of place you would find tomato, whether it is a season or not. It's just like saying in Kano you will not find tomato. That is where it is created, that's where it is planted, that's where it's seen. So you can't say you will not find tomato in those seasons. You will definitely find them. It shouldn't be that expensive. And I want to believe that it's not just tomato that is making her cry.
No, it's not. I don't think it is, rather.
It's more than that. And Nigerians really need to stop ranking suffering. If I'm suffering more than you, I should consider
less.
No, please, let's not do that. If you are trying to solve the problem of the country, let's solve the problem of the country. Let's not try to make it undermine other people's suffering or make it look like other people are not suffering enough, just because maybe they are having it a little better than you are. Suffering is different to people. There are people that are, they like suffering. You're seeing that they're suffering, but they don't consider it as suffering. They're enjoying what it is they are doing. So whatever it is that is relative to you as suffering, hold it with your chest. Don't try and compare it with another person's story. She's crying, tomato is cost 500 and she cannot afford it. Let's do let's leave it at that.
Well, I guess unfortunately that's the most we can take here on CEMTV's Jolly Life.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're not buying tomato 5 pieces 500 naira, because I understand that things are difficult. It is hard in the country right now. Things are expensive, and you're asking yourself, like Vera had said earlier, you're asking yourself, where did all my money go to? I'm earning, so amount of money, but when I consider all of my living expenses, it's as though I am absolutely poor. It's not you. It's not because you're not a good spender. It's not because you make horrible financial choices. It's just because of the system we are put in. And if you ask me, I think you should be proud of yourself. The fact that you're scaling through regardless of how difficult things are. You have an income. You're able to keep yourself afloat, albeit barely, but the fact is that you're surviving. Vera, I think that's something to be proud about. Doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as it's legal and legitimate. Even if you're as my chairman would say, as long as it's legal and legitimate, it's something you can be proud of. Whether you're a public driver, you're a laborer, you're a cleaner, it really doesn't matter what it is. I think it's something that you should be proud of.
Well, for me, I think I have these last words to say. My dad and I were very close, and we usually have conversations, and I confide in him a lot, right? And then when we have conversations, you always be like, you're trying your absolute best. The money you're paying for rent, even when I was living in a 4-bedroom flat, I've never paid it before, and this is me not living in a 4-bedroom flat. This is me not even ending at 3-bedroom flat. This is me not even living in a 3-bedroom flat. But then the amount of money I'm paying for my home is way more than my father had paid for us, even when we were staying in a 4-bedroom flat. That's how bad it is, before we eventually moved to our house. So that's how bad it is. Even the salary that I earn is way more than what I know my dad was earning when he was still working for people, or when he was still, a corporate worker. So as a matter of fact, we are doing well for ourselves. The economy might make us look like we're not doing enough, but we're actually doing well for ourselves. Now, in situations like this, you need to remember that, there are other important things in life. There is where you are going to, and then set your goals. Let's define your own success. I think I was sitting of recent and I was asking myself, when you begin to feel like, oh, you're making a lot of progress, and then the devil just tries to put up something on your screen that makes you feel like, oh, it's as if I'm not really doing enough like that too. That's exactly what it is I experienced one of these days. And then I snapped back and I was like, you say what? I am doing enough for myself. I cannot compare my own success or what it is I describe as success to what another person describes as success. Describe your own success. What makes you genuinely happy? What makes you genuinely fulfilled? And live life remembering that at the end of the day, some of us will just die at 40, die at 30, die at whatever age. I mean, Alex Okubo is a great example. So live like it's your last day. Do not worry about anything else. Eat as much as you can eat today, of course, sleep, but just live daily as it comes. Okay, and we pray, we believe that all of this will definitely fizzle out one day. Let's just take it easy on ourselves.
It will definitely fizzle out one day. Take it easy on yourself, as Vera has said. And of course, we draw the curtains here. I am Emmanuel Taminor Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. Don't worry, this is not the end. It's Friday, and you may not see us Saturday and Sunday for Jolly Life, but you'll definitely see us on Monday. So look forward to it, anticipate it, and we will see you when that time comes. Take care of yourself.
Worried about the state of your world? Need better and broader ideas? Stay tuned to CEMTV 24/7. Always thinking possibilities. CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
CEMTV wakes you up, goes through with you, welcomes you back home. It's all about you, for you. We break your day to the rising of the sun. We start you off on the positives with self-energized refilling. Hand in hand, toe to toe, in a soothing by and by. We go through your day, keeping you updated with developments around your world and your endeavors. You're better off with CEMTV. As your cheerleader, in your little winning steps,